Hello everyone, this is Justin aka Cursed by Beauty, bringing you some Last of Us factions. This is the beginning of a new series I'm starting called Lovely Loadouts. Basically, I'm giving you some loadout suggestions from personal favorites of mine to fit specific playstyles. So with this episode, I'm going to talk about support loadouts, or some of my favorite support loadouts to use. So without further ado, this first loadout I'm going to talk about is the medic loadout. Now, as the base medic loadout, it's always wise, and preferably wise, to go Reviver 3, First Aid Training 3. Anything less, I feel, is you're not really doing your job as a medic, or you're not helping your team out enough as a medic. As a former medic, as someone who always ran First Aid Training 3 and Reviver 3, I always felt it was important to run this base. These two right here was the base to my loadout, and to always help support my teammates by always sticking to them like glue, being the center of the group. That is very important. You want to do that. You cannot deviate or wander off on your own as if you have some stealth loadout, when your whole purpose of living, of being with this loadout is to support your team 100%, to be on their ass. And the best advice I can give also is to always support the best player on your team. If you're supporting the best player on your team by being on his ass, healing him up, and making sure that you pick him up as soon as possible, you are increasing your odds of winning by 1,000% or whatever percentage. It's just, you're going to help your team out. Even if, especially is more so true than when you are a medic, let's say, and you're in a public lobby. I mean, if you want to help yourself, I don't know why you would be running medic in public lobbies, but if you did, it's always wise to stick to the ass of who the best player is and help that guy or girl out. And when you run this medic, you'll have 3 loadout points left. What I suggest is to run a purchasable, because as the medic, you don't have a lot of offensive options due to your commitment to being a medic. You're really lacking in offensive and defensive options. So the only option to really help support yourself is to give yourself a high-powered purchasable, especially if you get rushed, because the medic is usually going to be the weakest offensive player. However, if you have a good weapon, you will not. So that's the medic loadout. This is a good support loadout for interrogations. It could be either whatever 2-point large firearm you want. That's not the point. The point is this base loadout right here with Reviver 3, First Aid Training 1, and Strategist 3. Strategist 3 will help you spawn early and on top of your teammates quickly. So when you're in interrogation and you have someone on the opposite end of or near the enemy lockbox, assuming that there's no enemy near them, you can spawn on them and help your teammate from there. And this always comes out very useful. If you're able to spawn on your teammate and they're on the opposite on enemy territory, you increase your chances of winning by so much. And if you have Reviver 3, you're with your team, you could pick up your teammates really quickly and keep them on enemy territory, as opposed to, of course, if you die, you'll be spawned back at your own territory and it'll be difficult to get onto the other side. And also, if you have Strategist 3 and you're trying to defend the box, it always helps because you can see or feel an enemy. You can see on the radar an enemy nearby, and usually the enemy who goes offensive to try to hit the box is someone who's running a stealth loadout, and Strategist 3 goes through covert training. You can see if they're really close to you, the red dot will appear, and you know that that enemy is close by. Probably Strategist 3 is probably the best perk for interrogation. The next loadout is a personal favorite for sniping. Now, I don't really snipe a whole lot, but when I do, when I have tried out the hunting rifle, I like this loadout a lot. It's you're getting the support with Reviver 3 to pick up your team real quickly. You have a silenced hunting rifle, so that you don't give away your position if you're with your team. And Hawkeye 2 rather, is just a great support perk for helping out your team to mark enemies, to just glow the opposing team up, and to spot them out. It's a great loadout, to my opinion, for sniping. This next one is a personal favorite of mine. It is very scrubby, and you know how scrubby I like it. Shorty Frontier Rifle, Explosion Expert 2, Reviver 3, Launcher. Now, this is just combo city, combo central. With a shot with the Frontier, you can switch over, of course, and combo with the Shorty. However, if you shoot someone with the Frontier and they're far away and they hide into cover, you take out the Launcher, fire near them, or try to arc it towards where behind their cover, and you can get that down. And I also find the Launcher extremely helpful for when you're facing another team with Reviver 3, because if you have someone down and they hide behind cover and your teammate says, "Oh, I have them down," they're going to get picked up. If you have the Launcher and you fire near them, you are solidifying that execution, making sure that the team doesn't revive them behind cover. And it's a great. The Launcher to me is perhaps the best support purchasable, because of its ability to just to help out in those situations in long distance when your teammate just says, "Oh, he's one shot, and he hid behind cover." Launcher will solve that problem. So this is definitely a personal favorite loadout of mine. The next one is something I've seen Excelis 151 run. It's an assault support loadout. It's running with Crafter 3, 1 point small firearm, and you have Reviver 3, First Aid Training 1 to heal yourself quickly, pick up your team quickly, and give your team some nice gifts. As someone who runs Crafter 3, it's always wise to make sure that you ask who has Explosion Expert, because if you're crafting throwables, it's always wise to give it to the person who is going to best utilize those throwables. So if you are running a very well organized team, make sure that if you're running Crafter 3, hey, who has Explosion Expert or who doesn't, or just because that will help out your team immensely, and give them those gifts. Next one, and the last one I'll mention, is a personal favorite of mine in close quarters combat. So if you're in a map like the Wharf or Checkpoint, you have these close quarter situations that are interesting situations to deal with, and I feel like something like Brawler 2 is a great close quarters perk, especially if you save up your materials to make 2 hit sticks. You are helping your team out because you are getting a quick down, assuming you're not getting stun locked by someone's full auto or what other weapon. You will get quick downs. I do like having the bow with a support loadout, again, because if you're trying to shoot someone in long range, you're not giving away the team's position. And of course the Shorty, because the Shorty is the most OP small firearm in the whole game. And of course you have Reviver 3, because fuck, it's the best support perk. I can't stress enough how amazing Reviver 3 is. And of course you got Fat 1 to heal yourself quickly. And again, as someone who regularly runs Reviver 3 most of the time, probably 90% of the time, if you are in a team with someone who has Reviver 3 and you know they have Reviver 3 and you know that you do not have Reviver at all, do not, I repeat, do not go for the revive first, because then that Reviver 3 carrying player cannot make the revive go quicker. You're just slowing down the process. It is excruciating to know, especially when you're saying, hey, I've got Reviver 3, let go, let me get the revive. And they say, no, I want the 100 parts. You're doing your team a disservice. You're fucking everything up. And there's so many times where that situation happens and we end up getting mollied or blown up or downed because some selfish prick wants to go for the revive, get those 100 parts, rather than let the person with Reviver 3 get the revive. Let them deal with it. People, just let the reviver get the revive. Alright guys, that is it for me. I hope you liked this episode. Give it a like if you liked it. Give it a dislike if you didn't like it. This is Justin. Take care. I'm out.